Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio. Your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Hello, 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 and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. My name is Renée Ambarees Isermann. I'm the host for the show Back to Paradise, and your smile is your key. And today is a huge milestone for me, because this is the first English show, and it's also a very, very special show because I have a very special guest. Because in my show, it's all about where did you fall out of your paradise in your life and the way back. And here, this is the place where you get the inspiration. I have credible guests. They are talking about their life journeys, what they have been through. And today, I have Nikole Mitchell here on my show. And this is not a guest. So this is a woman who I know for 5 years. And she pushed all my buttons. So we were connected to the Super Connector Mastermind. And she was getting through me like, you're going to be my coach, because someone was putting me in her room and I was just like, I was so aware where my buttons, where I was not here and where I was maybe having also judgments or feeling not enough, not pretty enough, not worthy. So, and now I want to invite you to a huge role model for all of us women when you want to come back to paradise. So welcome Nikole Mitchell on the stage in my room. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, Renee. Thank you so much for having me on your show. I'm so honored. I'm so excited about our conversation today.
Yeah, and it's been a long, long road. Mm-hmm. So, and you are really a huge role model when it comes to get back in your self-worth, live the life you want and the dreams you have, and not reducing yourself in every single way. And this is where you are so on the point. And I hope you had a lot of gold nuggets today. So keep tuned. And there's a lot of things we have to talk, and it's only just a short time for what how important this is. And you are all about just like boundaries, how to set up your life and what you have to focus on. So I have some questions, but I just like, I'm happy you're here, really.
Well, thank you for having me. And I think we're going to have such a rich and deep and meaningful conversation that my hope is truly everyone who's listening walks away even more clear and confident and called in creating their paradise right where they are. So this is my jam. I love paradise. I love pleasure. I especially love helping women maximize their pleasure. So let's dive in. I'm ready.
Good. So going back in your story, you went viral, like from being the pastor, and then you were getting just like on your OnlyFans. So you were having a huge shift. So from like black and white, and so this is where I can feel so much, because this is a lot of work you have done. People have to understand, and I want to point this out. So let's talk about a little bit about this story, because pastor, then you have been food stamps, and now you are having like your luxury living, and you have a millionaire, and you have your dream man on your side. So so let's talk about this. How was this happen?
Yes.
So
it was a massive, obviously a very massive transformation in my life. I went from a very conservative, religious, good girl that I had been raised to be. And even when I decided to become a pastor, that was a scandalous thing in my community because women were not allowed to be pastors in my upbringing. But I found a church that allowed women to become pastors. And so I joined the pastoral team. And I just have such a heart for the masses. I just want to reach people and help people live their best lives. And started like, I think if you repress your truth long enough, it will eventually come exploding to the surface. And so one of my truths is that I am queer. And I had been convinced my whole life that I was not, that I was straight. I married a man, we had 3 kids together. And here I'm realizing in my 30s, my identity for the first time, my sexuality for the first time. And I had this awakening moment of, oh my gosh, if I'm living in this body and I don't even know my own sexuality, what else do I think I'm right about that I'm actually completely wrong on? And I had already lived most of my life being who everyone else needed me to be and following all the rules and trying to be a good girl. And it was exhausting. And so I went on this journey, like, who is Nikole apart from religion? Who is Nikole apart from all the rules? Who is Nikole apart from the shoulds, oughts, and supposed tos? And that's when I like all of my desires came roaring to the surface. And I realized the life I was living was who everyone else wanted me to be. It wasn't who I was authentically at the core of who I am. And so I left everything, left my church, left my community, left my circle of friends, left the state I was living in. I was in Minnesota at the time, packed up my family, moved us to California, and I wanted a fresh start where no one knew me, no one would know I was religious. Like, I had just started an OnlyFans because I just felt all these sensual desires coming to surface. And I finally had a platform that felt safe to me to express it and to explore it. And I fell in love being so embodied and so expressed and sharing it in a way that was boundaried and true and healthy for me. And then it went viral that this pastor turned OnlyFans star was scandalous and radical and very polarizing. And so overnight, I went from hardly anyone knowing who I was to millions of people around the world knowing who I was and either instantly loving me or instantly hating me and being very, very public about how they feel about me on the internet. And so that's why I'm so excited for us to talk about boundaries, because my boundaries is what kept my sanity. My boundaries is what allowed me to flourish. My boundaries are what allowed me to maximize my pleasure in the midst of so much misunderstanding. And it's brought me to a very, very beautiful life that I did not have before. And so just to show, like what you mentioned, Renee, I was on food stamps for almost 10 years with my kids and my husband at the time. And now I've made multi 7 figures. I'm engaged to the partner of my dreams. My kids are healthy and thriving. We live in the most beautiful home in California. Like, my life could not be more different. And I've never been happier, healthier, or wealthier.
I love it. And it's so much, there's so much gold nuggets in, and there are some parts, I'm having a different journey, but also because I was 22 years a professional athlete. So I left also my hometown to just like, you need a different environment because your environment is really key. And how deep this impact, if you are getting for your dreams or not, this is what people maybe are not also aware. But it's also take when you make those transitions. I mean, you were talking about just like being hated and being loved. This is something on an energetically part. This is where I cheerleader you so much, because you have to grow in an energetic way that's over the top. And holding this, it's magic. It's so, and people have to know that what work this is. But what were the steps where you said, okay, you need a new identity? So who are you without all the stuff? When everything is gone, you have to figure out this new. So when you see the old Nikole, what is the biggest identity shift? Can you name that?
Oh my gosh, so many things I could name. Like, it's not limited to one thing. I remember when we were so poor for 10 years and we were working harder and working more hours every year and making less money every year. And it was a sick joke. And I was trying all the conventional ways of financing. We had a financial advisor. We did, if you're in a religious background like me, we did Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University. Like, I was trying all the proper conventional ways of trying to get on top of our money situation, and none of it was working. And then I discovered a life coach online, and I started reading all the social media posts by this life coach. And I was like, oh my gosh, they're speaking my language. And even though I had never heard these words before, it felt like the ancient language of my soul. And I instantly hired this coach, even though we were on food stamps and had no money. I cashed in our all of our money from our retirement, all of our money in savings, with a massive debt still owed to this life coach, and hired and said, teach me everything. And so while my circumstances were still the same, we were still on food stamps, we were still in Minnesota in a very poor neighborhood, we still were living under high stress, I was becoming a different person on the inside. That was the first time I learned the concept that who I am is abundance at my core. And just because this is my circumstances does not mean that is who I am at the end of the day. It's just where you are. It's not who you are. So my whole world began to change inside of me, and I began to view the world so differently. I used to believe the world was a place that devoured your dreams. And through this life coach, I began to possibly lean into the belief that maybe the universe is where your dreams come true. Maybe the universe even conspires for you. And I like, that was such a foreign concept. And so I started tapping into this identity that who I am is abundance, and I deserve an abundant life. And I have the tools and ability within me to create an abundant life, even though I've been very, very poor for 10 years and everyone around me is very poor. And so I had to start shifting how I viewed myself, what I believed I was capable of, and really become delusional and ignore what anyone else was going through around me, ignore what anyone else thought was possible for me, and just put my blinders on and say, I'm abundant, I'm free. Like, if I could live any way I wanted and it was true and right for me, what would it be if I didn't care about what anyone thought of me? And I was like, wow, I would dress sexier. I would be more self-expressed. I wouldn't be so afraid to share my opinion. I wouldn't be afraid to post whatever I want on social media. I would just be so free. And so I started leaving my old identity as the good girl and started stepping into an identity of a free woman. And that would slowly shift my lifestyle over the years. It would shift the way I make decisions. It would shift the way I would date. It would shift the way I run my business. And it was all those incremental steps that compounded and led to a massive transformation in my life.
So, I mean, this is really, do you have one step or one thing when you get up in the morning, what you say when someone is watching now? So what you have to focus on? Because for me, it's always about, I set in the morning the intention. If I'm getting up and I had a bad night, I'm getting anxieties, whatever. So it's just like, okay, I have to get clear on how I'm starting my day. And this is where I always teach, before you leave the house, you have to have your best smile on. Even if you don't feel that, but this is a muscle I'm used to train. Is something what you would share with the audience?
I would say if you are currently in a place in life where you are not where you want to be, meaning you should be so much further along, you should be in a way better relationship, you should be making way more money, you should be feeling way healthier in your body. Like, if you're not where you want to be, I would definitely recommend having a routine of some kind, of like, whether it's the first thing in the morning or late at night. We're all different. Some of us are morning birds, some of us are the night owls, like whatever your rhythm is. And like, infuse yourself with a deep delusional belief that you get to be the best version of you. So for back in the day, I would listen to this video clip on YouTube of Oprah walking out on stage and the whole audience erupting and clapping for her. And I would walk around my room as if they were clapping for me, as if Nikole Mitchell was coming on stage, and I'd feel it and I would cry. And then she would start talking. I'd rewind the YouTube clip right back to her walking out and everyone's clapping. I'm like, they're clapping for me, Nikole Mitchell, a star. Like, she's on TV. And this is when I'm in my bedroom on food stamps in Minnesota in the freezing cold. Like, it could not have been further from the truth. But I would do stuff like that every day to remind myself, this is not where your ultimate destination. This is not who you're meant to be. You are meant to be on a whole other level. So I was so delusional and would do whatever I had to do, listen to certain music, listen to meditation tracks, go for walks, listen to these YouTube videos, like whatever I had to do to get myself so psyched up about the life I knew I could achieve if I just didn't give up. Now it's shifted. That was like, I'm trying. I have to work hard because I had so much around me, my environment, my friendships, my community, where it was all screaming evidence that I would not make it. Now I live in a very, very wealthy neighborhood. I am surrounded by we're all multimillionaires here. Everyone here. It's like, it's so funny because in Minnesota, I didn't know a single millionaire. Here in California, it's like, I don't know anyone who's not a millionaire. Like, everyone is super wealthy here. Everyone lives in multi-million-dollar homes. We all have new cars. Like, The life I wake up to is very different from the life I wake up into that I woke up in Minnesota. So I don't have any strict or strong ritual because now in that sense I've arrived. I was trying to orient my life around pleasure back then. My entire life is rooted in pleasure. So now what I do instead of a morning ritual, throughout the day, I'm checking in with my intuition. I'm checking in with my desires. I'm checking in with my pleasure. Like, does this feel good to me? Do I want to do this thing? Yes, let's do it. No, not going to do it. Not sure? I'm going to sit on it. I've gotten to a point where I've built such deep self-trust with my core pleasure that I don't need a strong ritual to stay in touch with it because it guides my entire day. So that is one big change from I was very strict about my rituals when I was poor and struggling. And once I arrived at this level, I was able to relax and kind of lean into and surrender to this life of pleasure I built.
There are so many gold nuggets, but it's important that you do the work. And what do I mean by this is just like start believing and start doing, not talking, not thinking. It's just like really take action, embody this, really bring it in all level of your system. And a big wisdom has become, yeah, I'm coming from the yoga perspective, but what I also learned, and they were teaching it in the business yoga skills, is even if you want something, you really have to say yes to it, and then you have to go in the field. And it's always helpful to get in and to get a taste of it, that you have it, that's easier to reach.
Yes.
That you can really just like it's draw that's coming into that, you draw in or you lean into that. So and this is, I think, whatever you want in life, these are the steps we really have to do. And so I mean, I remember leaving Europe, going to the DR 3 years ago. I was putting those things on my vision board. That was not planned. That is, even if you are ready and you do those things, the magic can happen. But the most thing, and I think this is why I love the boundary thing, is so important.
Yeah.
In so many ways, and specific for us women, finding a new man, finding a new relationship, even if you are, we have to figure out if this is the person I want to stay, or do I have to shrink myself in this environment also, put it this way. And I know that you also talk about just like you have very clear boundaries. Yes. When it comes to men, and also how did you find your man? So how that just like keep me posted. So
yes, I love this. I'm very boundaried, and this is, I mean, I want you to understand that I am like the world's poster child for people pleasing. Like I was the biggest people pleaser. I lived and died by people's approval of me, and I literally died by it. I had severe anxiety from trying to be who everyone needed me to be and trying to make sure no one was upset with me and make sure no one misunderstood me. Like I lived and died for people's approval and understanding of me. And it's exactly what kept me poor. It's what kept me small. It's what kept me fearful. And I realized that if I wanted to become this wealthy, successful businesswoman and creative, I can't care what people think of me. I can only care about the vision that was placed on my life and my calling and fulfilling it. And so I had to have boundaries around, like I no longer allowed people in my inner circle who tolerated me. The people who belong in my inner circle are people who celebrate me. If you are unable to celebrate me, I get it. I understand I'm a very triggering person. People have a love-hate relationship with me. And if you can't fully celebrate me, you just go outside my circle. Like I'm not rejecting you. I'm just not going to open my heart and risk it to be only judged and shamed and hurt by you. So I became really ruthless. Like I think as women, we struggle being too nice. And I think women need to be more ruthless about prioritizing themselves and prioritizing their pleasure and prioritizing what feels good to them, especially in the face of people wanting you to shrink, people getting triggered by you, people thinking you're crazy. It's like those are the very people you need to move to your outer circle and do not have those in your inner circle. So when I was like becoming this version of me and I felt on fire and I felt unstoppable and I started getting results, I went from $0 ever to like making $3,000 a month and $5,000 a month. I had my first $10,000 month. I was like, oh my gosh, this is life changing. You know, we now moved to California and I expect my whole life to explode for the better. And it explodes all right just in every way I had never wanted it to explode. My marriage ended up imploding, which I did not see coming. And then COVID happened at the same time. And between getting divorced and starting an OnlyFans, my entire family cut me off because they thought I lost my marbles. My 3 best friends cut me off. Like, there has never been a time in my life where I have ever felt more abandoned and more isolated than the year of 2020. And all the evidence around me was screaming, you are crazy, Nikole. See, if your family can't even accept you, if your best friends can't even accept you, if your husband can't accept you, you must be doing something wrong. This is what my head is screaming at me, and I am crying every day. And in my heart, though, there was this deep, small piece that was like, no, Nikole, this is the path you're meant to be on. This is your truth, Nikole. Do not compromise your truth. You have compromised your whole life. Hold out. Hold out. It's going to make sense in the end. And so I'd be at this war between my head and my heart. And I'm crying. And then I remember one of my coaches at the time said to me, because I kept saying, this is the worst thing to happen to me. I'm getting divorced. What about my children and my family? And I was just so terrified. And my coach said to me, instead of asking, like, what if this is, or how this is the worst thing that could have ever happened to me, try asking, what if this was the best thing to have ever happened to me? And I remember being so offended being asked that question as I'm going through such trauma and such heartbreak. How dare you even ask me to consider how this could be the best thing to happen to me? But fast forward to today, and I can absolutely tell you that entire storm where I felt like everything was stripped of me and everything was taken from me was the best thing to happen to me. Who I had to become as a result, with no one to rely on, no one to depend on, no one to save me. It was only up to me to save me and my children and to provide a life for our future. And I found a resilience and a power I did not think I was capable of. And then I thought, I got divorced. I'm like, well, if my own husband can't love me, the one person who promised who would love me to the end of time, maybe I am unlovable. I had to work through all of my fear around I'm too much, I'm too sensual, I'm too powerful, I'm too driven, I'm too passionate. All these things I've been is who I am, but also people have struggled with in my life. And then I met this person at the time I was not expecting, because I was still healing. And we very quickly hit it off. And I remember he pursued me pretty early on, and I said no. I turned him down. I was like, I just got divorced. I'm not ready. I need time to heal. So we took time. And then I reached a point in my life where, like, okay, I think I'm ready to try a relationship again. And so we started dating, and now we've been together 4 years. And last year we got engaged to each other. We bought this gorgeous multi-million-dollar home, and we now live together, and our kids all live together. And he is so the right person for me. But I would never have found him had I stayed in the relationship with the wrong person, had I not become who I needed to be, had I not addressed my core fears of being too much and unlovable. And it's precisely with all those things being stripped of me and me willing to walk through the fire instead of run from it, it birthed me into the person who could hold the level of life that I live now.
So that's amazing. But a clear question. So if someone is really heartbroken and just like this, I'm not enough. I'm just like, I don't feel. I fear even like going in the next relationship. So because of all, maybe when abuse happened, when other things. So do you have any advice also about the clear boundaries, how you should date? Can you some of those tips?
So one perk of a heartbreak is it typically makes you very clear on what you will accept next time and what you will not accept. And so for me, I was married to a very good man, but a very poor man. And it did not work for us to live in California. Even when we were in Minnesota, we were on food stamps for almost 10 years. And I always had to come in and try to save us. And it was overwhelming. It was exhausting. It was demoralizing being on food stamps for that long, for being like educated and articulate and like intelligent. Like, why is this so hard for me? And so when I got divorced, I was like, I will never put myself and my children in that situation again. My standard and my requirement was whoever I end up dating, a man, woman, it doesn't matter. They have to be successful. I cannot be their savior. I have secured my own bag. They need to have secured their own bag. And when we come together, we're going to have a really amazing quality of life. That I only learned that clarity because I was married and got divorced. And so feel the grief of your heartbreak. Like, don't bypass the human experience. Mourn it, grieve it, be angry, punch some pillows, like process that emotion. And then when you're ready, I want you to think clearly about it and look for the red flags that you ignored. The red flags we see in the beginning is always why the relationship ends in the end. And so I became ruthless about what are red flags that I'm not available for? What are the standards I require for my next partner? Because your partner, as we know, it directly affects every area of your life. It affects your business, it affects your friendships, it affects your mental health, it affects your physical health. Like, it affects everything. So if there's anything to be super strict on, if there's anything to have super high standards on, it is the love of your life. And my whole life, even before I got married, my family, my close friends would say, "You're too crazy. Your standards are too high. No man will ever be at that level of Nikole." And I was like, I don't care. Why would I settle on the most important? Like, that is insane. I've seen so many people miserable in their most important relationship. I refuse to be miserable. And so when my husband and I ended up getting divorced, I was like, I will never settle again. I know exactly, not like exactly like he must be this personality and he must be a morning person. I didn't have that. I had like the qualities or the characteristics, like they have to be successful. They have to have emotional intelligence. They have to like be a certain kind of character that's someone I can grow with. And I manifested that. But I will say the thing is, the fastest way to manifest the love of your life is stop dating people that you know are not the one. Stop dating them.
Okay, that's wasting time, and time is a resource. And I know that you're also very clear how you manage your time. So, and the other question, what it's really just like, okay, dating. So even like when it comes to the finance part, the success part. So I know you have a lot of experience because you help women also to learn to date again, and find pleasure again. So what are the red flags for you? You tell your clients also what you have to be aware, specific the financial part. What are the red flags you see where you say, because I remember you were putting out, you were going out with friends, and it goes just like, okay, you met some guys, and yet immediately in your nose, on your gut, this is just like, this is poor, this is rich. Give us a little bit your wisdom,
Yes.
how to figure out that maybe this can help.
Yes, I can sniff out a poor man from a rich man very quickly. It's definitely a skill I've honed in on. And I get attacked mostly by men because they see me as like, oh, you just use men, but really I have standards. So they say I'm using men. I say I have standards. Again, I have learned to be okay with being misunderstood because at the end of the day, I'm not dating them. I'm not marrying them. So it doesn't really matter what they think about my life. But for me, like when I wanted to even just make rich friends, for example, I would go to rich places. I would go to high-end hotels and go hang out at the local restaurant or the bar in there, right? I go to high-end shopping centers and I would just start to surround myself with rich places and wealthy spaces to just like try to normalize it to this very poor woman. Because if you identify as poor and then you date rich, you marry rich, or you become rich, if at your core you still identify as a poor person, you will sabotage all that. So I knew I wanted to lock in my identity as a wealthy woman the entire journey as I became wealthy. And so putting yourself in wealthy spaces is not only be good for your identity, but you're also going to meet people. You're going to meet amazing friends. You'll meet amazing gentlemen. And now you have a dating pool where money is not an issue. Money's not a struggle. Money's not a problem. So like I've always intentionally, once I learned about life coaching, all this, I've started to put myself in wealthy spaces. That's one of the main reasons I moved from Minnesota to California. In Minnesota, everyone around me was poor. And I started hearing my children talk as like, oh, we're poor, we can't afford that. And I was like, that is not the legacy and identity I want to pass on to my children. I want them to know that wealth is their birthright. Wealth is everywhere. Wealth is normal. So I moved them to a very wealthy neighborhood in California before I had the money. It was a huge leap of faith. And then now we're surrounded by wealthy people, and now they have met wealthy friends, and I have wealthy connections. And then when you put yourself in wealthy spaces, just be your authentic self and make connections. And like, again, this is my personal passion. I've seen so many women get screwed financially because they married someone, the man was in control of the purse strings, and then they get divorced and the woman is left with nothing. And so I want women to be economically secure. I want them to be financially free. And so I will always teach women, make your own money, secure your own bag, and also date rich, because when you have that, you have plenty of money. And it's amazing the stressors and relationships that disappear when money is no longer an issue. When you can hire someone to clean the house instead of fighting over who's going to clean it. When you can hire someone to cook your meals instead of getting mad at each other because you have to decide what you're going to have for dinner again. Like, money makes relationships so much easier. But it's about feeling worthy. Do you feel worthy of a wealthy partner? Do you feel worthy being taken care of? Or do you feel guilty? Do you feel shame? And so this is what I help women work through, this feeling worthy and how to become a match and how to sniff out the difference between someone who has resources and someone who doesn't, and lock in why you deserve someone who does.
I think that is a very important thing. So the woman you work with, is there like a one thing we all struggle with, what you can point out?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's several things, but the first thing is women settle all the time. It kills me. Like and the main area women settle in is in their dating life. The most important relationship of their lives, women constantly settle. And I do believe it's part of living our society where we have been convinced to be grateful for crumbs, don't be selfish, don't be shallow, don't act entitled. And I help women become entitled to their desires. I have always wanted to be rich since I was a little girl, which is why when I was poor for so long, there was such an incongruence. It felt so weird. Like I was living someone else's life, and like there was a very princessy version inside of me, but she was locked away because I was in survival mode for so long. And so like I learned, if I want to become the greatest version of myself, the wealthiest version of myself, the most successful version of myself, I cannot entertain anyone that I know is not the one for me, whether it's a friend, it's a team member, or it's a partner. So women as a whole settle in general, but especially when it comes to the partner of their life. And this is why my work is so activating, because it's like, I will not let you settle. I will get clear on what it is that you want, what is that you desire, because in my space, there's no shame around your desires. There's no limit on your standards. And I say, okay, this is what you want, and this is what's truly going to support you. Here's how you become that version of you so you can effortlessly and magnetically attract that person into your life.
I love it. And I know you do the work. So, and you support in so many ways. To change a little bit the frequency, because when you're going to a roller coaster, because our time is running, it's just like we can stay here because it's so important.
Yeah.
So one of my magic tools, and this is why this is Back to Paradise, I was the girl that was never smiling because I was thinking adults are very serious. And then I had an accident, so I cut my teeth. And so I was having a long journey. But even specific the last 2 years, this pen and the smile is a compass, because it's helping you to reach the next level. And this is to become an understanding that smile, it's not about a fake smile. It's really learning to study how this tool is magic. And you know the exercise, but I have something new, because one of my German friends, he has a specific technique. This is the Genesis Pro-Life technique. And they were putting us on musician instruments so that the frequency from the music we are listening now to is changing the bovis, and it scales up. So it's helping the room energy changing, but because of our body system is 75% or more water, it's informing our system. So, and now I just like, Dr. Jacqueline, can you just like put the first picture in? So the Genesis Pro-Life technique is on this music. So this is why it can feel different. And it informs the water. And Emoto was showing pictures, and we were having this experience with the music and water. And this is, can you pick the next picture, please? So this is a normal water. So this is the crystals, like when we normally drink things. And when we listen to the music, and this is now, you get a peak from 60 seconds, but after this short time also is something moving, but after 10 and 15 minutes, it's blooming up more. So the next picture, please. So this is what is happening when you listen to the music with the room and with the water, and then you can experience how this is changing even your whole environment. And now we're going to have a specific exercise. Thank you very much. So, and now we are going to have a specific exercise. So we have a German lady, she was preaching this exercise over decades, but it's really a life changer. You get a pen. It's very easy if you are an emotional roller coaster, whatever, or you just want to train your facial muscle because you have 43 muscles in your face. Then just like put this between your teeth. Okay. So, and now when the music is coming, I'm not talking, but I want to give you an idea what you have to focus on to get best results. So put the teeth between the pen between your teeth. Feel the feet on the ground, feel your sit bones, and then really start relaxing your forehead. Be aware nothing else is moving, just like relaxing. So I will give you some advice with my hands when you watch. And then we just relax and see what is changing. And I really invite you to listen to your body and to the shifts in this specific moment. Stop thinking just for 60 seconds and then see what magic is coming. So let's go. Okay. And just stay for a second and let the magic happen, because your body is your best friend. And immediately I can feel the shift. I'm looking for what Nikole is talking, but it's just like you stay in your zone and just like feel the connection. Your body is your best friend. And those things can shift in just a short time. And this is just like, that was my lifesaver I studied over the last year. So when I'm looking forward, how do you feel? What is your takeaway from the last 60 seconds?
You know what I love about that practice is it's literally only 60 seconds, but it honestly might be the only 60 seconds you're tender with yourself. I think as women, we are so quick to be critical of ourselves and quick to note all the mistakes we've made and quick to note all the ways we could have done so much better, that might be the only 60 seconds of your day that you're actually tender with your flesh, with your mind, with your smile, with your body. And you deserve that. You deserve a tender life. You deserve to feel good in your body. You deserve to be treated well. You deserve to be taken care of. You deserve to feel safe in your relationship and in your work and in your day-to-day and in your mind. And something as simple as 60 seconds of music and just touching your skin and caressing your face is hopefully just the beginning of you being tender to yourself for the rest of the day.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So, and if you like the music, there are so much more songs, 5. So we put the link in. If you purchase the music, we are planting 1 tree. So we are building paradise really in every single way. So we can raise the frequency. So feel free. I think we're dropping the link. You feel everything behind. If you want to have like my 4 must-have exercise, this is also there. We put it in the link. So this is for free. This is an invitation how we can change the world together. Nikole, so do you have 1 sentence? And then we have to wrap up the show, what you really want to know that women have to remember. And this is your website. So please check out Nikole. Your Instagram is amazing. I'm always inspired by your pictures. So, and yeah.
Yeah, I would just say, you know what you want. You know what you deserve. And this is your moment to stop pretending like you don't know. Let this be the moment where you say, I'm done playing small. I'm done holding back. I'm done acting like this is enough for me, and I'm going to become the version of me who has it all. I'm going to become ruthless in getting what I want and having the life that I want. And if my voice and my way of thinking and being inspires you and activates you and could be supportive of you, then join me. I have different containers you can hop in. You can follow my work, because I care that you have a life you are wildly obsessed with.
Awesome. So, and now if you like the show, please, the subscribe button is important, and share it. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments. And then let's make the world more beautiful and shine. And thank you, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, for this amazing work she did over the last years to build this platform. And I'm happy to be your part. And yeah, so see you next Sunday. It will be the German version. So it's going rotating. Yeah.
Thank you for having me, Renee. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? In a world quick to judge, one book dares to reveal the hidden cost of silence. Discover Holy but Harmful, The Silent Sin of Judgment, How Hidden Judgments Destroy Relationships and Damage Lives by Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. The Amazon #1 bestseller that's transforming the way we understand ourselves and the way we see others. Pick up the companion workbook to uncover your own hidden judgments and learn how to break free from them. Available now on Amazon and at fine bookstores worldwide.
USA Global TV and Radio proudly presents Tracy Cram-Perkins, a dementia caregiving survivor teaching how to balance care with peace of mind. #1 resource for dementia caregivers. It's the book Dementia Home Care: How to Prepare Before, During, and After. Over 17,000 copies sold of this must-have guide. And now a testimonial from Tracy Smith.
If I was to describe this book to someone who is going through a similar situation, I would underscore how important it is to have some sort of a tool or a guidebook to help you through certain stages. And there's so many, it's such an unknown topic to the average person. And to have this as a reference is essential. It's going to help you get through it personally, as well as help your loved one manage.
To learn more, go to TracyCramPerkins.com. Tracy Cram-Perkins is an award-winning author. She's also the host of Dementia Home Care television show. Watch it here on USA Global TV and Radio.
Get ready to wear the brand that's changing the world of media. Introducing the official USA Global TV and Radio online store. From our TV show hosts to our incredible global guests, you asked, we delivered. Rep your appearance with pride. Whether you've been on air, hosted a show, or tuned in, we have something just for you. Visit us at usaglobaltvradioshoп.myspreadshop.com and start shopping today. Check back frequently. We're dropping fresh new designs all the time. Showcase your role in our global community. These designs celebrate your voice, your story, your presence. It's more than just merchandise. It's a movement of hope, inspiration, education, and elevated listening. Head to usaglobaltvradioshoп.myspreadshop.com. Your spotlight awaits. USA Global TV and Radio. Elevate your style. Elevate the world.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USAGlobalTV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Music by Johnny Dies. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative Direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Copyright 2025. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.